Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about global warming and the greenhouse effect. We are an incredible species and we have come so far in very little time. Our colonization of the planet and our own population growth, our scientific breakthroughs and the way how we learn to do things better. We as a species are now on the planet the most dominant species, and this of course has with it some side effects. Currently it's estimated, not including machinery and heavy equipment, that on our planet there are more than 1 billion cows. We have more than 7 billion people who all need food delivered to them, who all need to get from one place to another and need to get things done. And when we get to such massive numbers and this gigantic civilization we have created, this is absolutely not without its side effects. And this side effect is global warming. Every year about 32 billion tons of CO2 is released into the atmosphere because of human activity. Now, to put it really simply, in really simplistic terms, the cause of global warming are the greenhouse gases, and they cause something that's called the greenhouse effect. All of these chemicals, aerosols and sprays that we release into the atmosphere have consequences, and one of these major consequences is that while they are hovering in the atmosphere and we keep just releasing them into the atmosphere, one effect that CO2 for example has is that it traps sunlight. So as sunlight falls to the earth, normally with a normal atmosphere we would have a perfect route to escape easily, but now the more and more greenhouse gases collect in the atmosphere, they trap the heat in, and that is exactly the simple reason why we get global warming. We can see global warming come out of control on a planet such as Venus, which now has temperatures in excess of hundreds and hundreds of degrees, and that is not at all a nice place to live, and we certainly wouldn't want planet Earth to be like that because everyone would die. So this is a fact. This is our world that we're living in right now. This is something that we have done. There is absolutely no debate about this anymore. All scientists agree. Some few scientists don't agree because they're paid off by Trump or whatever it might be, but all rational thinking scientists agree with this, and they have known this for decades. Some people confuse weather with the climate. They take an example of some place having a cold weather and then they're like, wow, what about climate change? Like, where's the climate change? It's so cold right now. That is weather. Temporary changes in temperature in whatever direction can happen, but the principle of global warming is that in general, overall on the entire planet, the temperatures to increase. On early stages, this is not a huge problem. Like currently right now as we are, this is not the end of the world. We probably could be warmer like 1 more degree or something like that. It would not be the end of the world. Things would change. This would damage some ecosystems. It already has. There are definitely all side effects, but we could survive. But the thing is, if we continue polluting like we're doing right now, the world will change really negatively towards pretty much all life that we have, and we will continue to see more extreme weather, coastline cities getting underwater because of ice caps are melting, ecosystems falling apart. So it's fascinating how some people still can't sort of get the grasp that this is actually happening. It usually is this way with human beings. Like, it has to be really late in order for people to understand that something is actually wrong. I remember looking at this documentary and this news reporter were going with scientists to the Antarctic, and on the boat they were talking like, oh, so when did you find out? Like, this is crazy. Like, we need to tell everyone, like, global warming is happening. And the scientists were pretty much like, yeah, I mean, we've known for decades. No one just listens. It's like the beginning, or we're like in some kind of a bad movie where everyone knows that something bad is happening, but the powerful people and majority of people do not really understand it. Like, there is no question about it. If you look at the numbers, if you look at the data, if you look at the global temperatures and CO2 emissions, everything that's going on, it's undisputable. If you don't believe that, then you might as well believe that the earth is flat, we never went to the moon, and you should stop using any technology that science has brought you, and you should go live in a cave somewhere far away from civilization. Then it's fair. But if we are living in the current society that is built upon knowledge, science and rational thinking, then we must really look at the world the way it is right now and accept the reality as it is. And the reality is that global warming is here and it is happening. It's not yet killing all life on Earth, but if we do not change the way we are handling ourselves as a species, then things will increasingly get worse and worse. So this is just a really brief and simple explanation of climate change and greenhouse effect. This this is, you know, the world we're living in, this is what we have made. This is, you know, it's a normal side effect, like you would expect any civilization that's growing as fast as we have and inventing technology to, you know, produce major changes in the planet. Like, that's quite predictable and understandable. We shouldn't like be mad at ourselves. We shouldn't be like, oh, humans are so horrible. This is a natural side effect that happens, but now is the point where we must go beyond it and overcome it. And we certainly can do it, because as technology is advanced, we get way better and more efficient methods, and methods that do not pollute the planet that we're actually living on. So that's kind of cool. So I hope you liked the video. If you have any ideas, please leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.